Welcome to the Headquarters Software, a system designed to help streamline processes within your business, including budgeting, estimating, and job costing projects, scheduling and time tracking, communication, a CRM, and employee management. Instead of having multiple softwares to carry out these functions, our goal is to have an all-in-one solution for your business, including training resources for your employees, and to help show them a career path forward in your business. Let's jump into some of the features. Welcome to the How to Hardscape Headquarters dashboard. Here we can see our budget and our breakdown of our budget. We have a setup tab where you can set up your company emails, manage your users, and create a contract. Our budget tab allows you to create a budget, whether it's a divisional or company-wide budget, set the name, division, date, and set the amount of time that you have in your season, and then start to add different pieces of equipment from your business. So you can see here that we have a truck with an identifying number. We can also add the cost of replacement if we were needing to replace that today, the years of use associated with that piece of equipment, and the resale value at the end of its use, and then followed by any equipment expenses that you want to associate with that piece of equipment. We've got fuel, maintenance, licensing, and insurance to give us our cost per year. Now, if you have more than one division and your divisions share this piece of equipment, you can click share, give it a percentage, and then you can move on over to the business expenses. This is anything that comes out of your business bank account. You can simply add the cost per year for it, and you can track it with different cost codes and cost types in your business. You can also share it with different divisions and see a budget breakdown for the year. You can add employees to your budget and to your system. So you can see here we have a bunch of different employees, but we can also add multiple different profiles. For example, if your employee gets paid different in the wintertime for snow clearing as opposed to the summertime for the design build business, you can create multiple profiles for that employee. You can see the policies that they've signed off on and any time off requests and reports that they have actually submitted. You can associate them with different crews in your business, and that helps when we get to the project level. Our production rates and materials are catalogs. Our CRM shows you all the different clients that you've added through the season and in previous years. You can also tag them with different tags. You can also SMS message them right here, and you can email them right through the system as well. You can see in our sales pipeline where any client is at in the sales process, from contact, consult, proposal, and approved client, and filter by date for those. You can also add any vendors that you want to add in your business. At the project level, we can go into our project. We can see that we have these amount of projects quoted for accepted in 12.5% closing rate during a specific time period. You can change that time period whenever you want to view different closing rates, but we're going to go ahead and add new for a project. We're going to give it a name of 12.3 test. We're going to choose a client that it's associated to, a quote date when we are quoting this, who prepared it, and from what budget we're preparing it from. We can go to the labor time now and add any employees or crew members to this project. I'm going to choose my design build crew and click save. And then we can go ahead and start to add labor time. So I price by work area. So I'm going to do a patio, and I'll choose our production rate as pavers. So you can see in our paver production group, we have sub-productions of each of the steps of the process broken down step by step. And I can go ahead and use my production rates. For example, if I want to quote a backyard patio, I would choose that one and say we're going to do a 1,000 square foot patio. This would take us 13.33 hours based on this production rate that I've created. Or if we don't have production rates, we can simply choose hourly. And in this case, I might say that we're going to take about 15 hours to complete this. And I can go through this and do each one step by step and how long it's going to take us. And once I get to the bottom, I can click save. Now that we have that, now that we've completed this work area, we have this amount of hours, our total hours here, and that is in people hours. So that gets divided amongst however many people are on your crew for that. Now I can add another work area if I wanted to. So I'll add a wall with this patio. I'll choose our wall production rate, and I'll simply just put in 100 hours for this, and I'll click save. Now we've got 150 hours total, but we also have this efficiency factor calculator. This is going to take off any wasted time on the job site. Whether you clock in at a shop and then drive to the job site, that's wasted time in a day, and clean up and back to the shop. breaks, lunch, anything that you want to recover in terms of wasted time for this project. I'll put half an hour for each, and we're going to work 8 hours a day on this project. And what you're going to see is we've marked up our 150 hours to 178.13 at an 81.25% efficiency factor. And there we are. We can now round up to the nearest day based on our budget and how many hours we work per day. So now we've rounded up there to our nearest day. If we ever need to, we can revert back to our production hours that we created. Now I'm going to add some materials to this. So I'm going to choose our paver patio. I'm going to choose pavers, and I can start to choose my base materials and anything else that I want to add to this. I'll click save there. And you know what? We're going to add some to our wall as well. And there we are. We have our 2 work areas completed, and I can go to our estimate tab. I can add in a labor burden percentage. I can add in our tax rate, but it already shows up based on our company information and how much net profit do we want to make on this specifically. And there we are. I click save, and our overhead is already calculated based on the number of hours that this project is going to take us and how much hours we have in our season. We can add any notes if we want to. So we can add in our locates or our design or any client communication that we have on this, who's putting in the note, locates. We can add our attachments, give it a date, and click save. And there we are. We have our locates in there. Now we can create our material orders. Now, if we have 2 or more different vendors and we have materials that are being purchased from different vendors, for example, our aggregate is purchased from one vendor, but our pavers are purchased from another vendor. If we go to our material order and we click generate automated purchase orders, it'll create 2 separate purchase orders, one for the aggregate and one for the pavers for each of those associated vendors. In this case, we have them right here. We can go in and still edit them at this point. So maybe we're going to do this all in one sitting, but here we are. We have our tackle block and some 3/4 inch crushed all to a specific vendor, but I can change that at this time if I need to, and I can choose who's placing it. And I can click save here. And now I can email it off to my vendor, and I can CC our company. I can send that off. Now, if we go to our proposal, I'm going to add a work area proposal, and you can see we get our customers information here. We got our business information on the left, and then we have our work areas. So you can see this text automatically shows up. This is based on our paver production group. And this automatically shows up because this is our scope of work that we install pavers by. You can see we can also hyperlink them. These go to our YouTube videos explaining the process step by step, and we don't have to write this out. But if there's anything that we need to add, we can also add it at this time. We can also remove items if we wanted to. So maybe we just want to show the client the actual product that we're going to be installing. Our wall also has a scope of work, and then we have our items for our wall. Once again, we just want to show them the wall that we're going to be installing there. And then we have our name, our date, and the contract that we want to choose to attach to this. We can choose it at this point. There it is, it shows up, but we can also add anything at this point. We click save, and there we are. It shows up, and it shows that it's not viewed right now. We haven't sent it off. We can either SMS message this to our client. We can also email it, or we can just save a PDF and send it to them manually. I'm going to choose to email. I'm going to choose our sending proposal email template. We're going to BCC our company email. We can add any attachments at this point that we want. We can also choose to send the proposal as an attachment or send the proposal link within the actual email. And we will click send. There it is. And then the client can actually click to view the proposal. And there we are. We have our information for our client. We have our breakdown of our proposal and our different work areas, our totals, our contract at the end. And at this point, our client can go ahead and sign it if they would like, accept, and click save. You can see that this has actually turned to they have signed it. If they've only viewed it, it would only say viewed as opposed to not viewed. But now they know that we have actually gone ahead and gone with this project. So now I can go ahead to our scheduler. You can see that we have our project showing up here. It's color coded by our crew. Our crew is red in this case. This is our design build crew. So I can go ahead and I can move it to the scheduler. I can change anything I need to here and click add event. And you can see that it shows up. Now we have in our company information that we do not work weekends. So it's going to automatically detect that and place it in here. I can click on it. I can click to see the job costing for this. I can also see the employees that are assigned to this in the project notes if there are any, and any files attached to that. I can also see in the chat groups that it's automatically created a chat group with the employees that are assigned to that group. And I can start to say, hi team, to start communication on this project. If I need to in the chat, I can pin any so that they only show up at the top. For example, if I want to create a chat group for the company wide, it shows up there. If we go to clock in at the beginning of the day, you can see all of our employees that are clocked in and out and any information that we need to see there. So I'm going to go ahead and clock in, choose our projects that we are there for. We have our different employees. I'm going to clock in, and there we go. We've started, and any forms that we've created will show up here. So what are the hazards on site? You can type them in. This is a beginning of the day check, and the employee needs to actually accept and submit that there. So now that we have that on our end, and any production rates, we can actually clock in and out of these. So for example, we only use the hourly production rates. If I want to start to track these production rates for our project, I can actually clock in and out of those production rates to get that data. At the end of the day, I can go ahead and clock out any materials that were used during this that we want to track. I personally use this just for inventory items, and I just keep track of my invoices for actual delivered to site materials. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to clock out, and you can see that my clock out registers there at just 0.02 hours for this. And then as the admin, I can go into approvals, and I can see any approvals that I need to approve and any notes associated to those as well. At any time, I can change the clock in date and time before I go ahead and approve it, and I can create a payroll report during any time period that I want to generate reports. Any notifications will show up here. We can actually go in and see all the different notifications that we need to actually go through. And if there's a company announcement that we need to make, we can go into announcements, and I can create an announcement. This is an announcement for all employees. And there we are. We can see who's actually viewed it in our company. We can give it a like. We can comment on it, and we can get employee engagement through this. We also have courses that we can assign to employees as well. And this is how the How to Hardscape Headquarters software works.